Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Glad to see you. Steve's here, coaching you in many different ways, playing the guitar. So, today I've been asked about power chords, and like I've told you in the past, I have 55 years experience, but it's unique to what I've been, impressed with as far as guitarists or the type of music I've been wanting to play. And so when it comes to like power, the first one I thought was maybe really, power chords, metal was Black Sabbath. Okay, so before Black Sabbath, was playing Who and Cream, Led Zeppelin. So it's like, do you consider that type of music, power chords? Maybe you do. Um, it's kind of like it was considered psychedelic, underground, and hard rock. Okay, to me, then came heavy metal. After hard rock. So, power chords. I mean, I played my share, of Led Zeppelin. Whatever. Some Led Zeppelin stuff. I went to see Black Sabbath, and for a long time, when you're like 14 or 15, and you're learning these solos, whether it was like "Sunshine of My Love" by Clapton or Cream or whatever solos, I always thought that, well, wait, I can't be doing it at 14 exactly, like these awesome guitar gods are playing. And, then you go to a live concert and you see, well, they're playing what I know or what I learned. It's the same thing. I always thought, at that level, you were like doing something different than what I was playing, that I was just doing like the beginner intermediate level. And when you got to, recording, you were doing something different. That was my misunderstanding, back then. But for me, when I went to see Black Sabbath, and I was right in the front row, and I had been playing some of, their songs like Paranoid. Or maybe Iron Man. When I went to see Black Sabbath, I was in the front row. Tony Iommi, he liked to play everything with the bar chord off of the E. He was not using the bar chord off of the A that much, so he'd be doing Paranoid. Or when he did Iron Man, instead of the way I would do it, using both, he would go all the way up the neck. So, like I said, I did not get into Kiss or Def Leppard or Twisted Sister, or I did not get into the heavy metal genre very much. I mean, I might have had to play some AC/DC, or Aerosmith, and again, Aerosmith to me is more hard rock. So I can't give you like a Metallica lesson, but what I can tell you is that, and again, Porcupine Tree with Steve Wilson, he puts in some definitely heavy metal parts into his music, and that I had noticed when I learned some of it and did Drop Down D, that those, the low strings that you're playing for the, the heaviest sound, for that heavy metal, really strong chords, it really sounded really awesome, drop D. But the main thing for power chords is just the amount of, overdrive, maybe treble, distortion. I have an amp here, it's a Fender that's just got some distortion in it, so that's what I'm doing now. But for me, if you really want to do, power chords, you're really utilizing your E and your A and maybe your D string. And sometimes you can really just utilize the top two strings, the E and the A, meaning that you don't have to play any notes D or below. Do that if you want to go to the A power chord, then utilize the A and the D string. You got enough power chord and you're not having to play all 6 strings. And again, if you want to do like Tony Iommi, and he was probably playing mostly the E and the A, maybe the D string. Just playing the E and the A string. It's got a whole lot of overdrive on this amp. It gives you that power sound. I mean, you can do power chords without the distortion, because, you're loud and you've got treble on and you're utilizing, the treble pickup, which I'm utilizing on my Strat here. You're going to get different tones from the different settings you have on your guitar and your amp. If I went to the neck pickup, and I just moved it up to the neck, and then if I go back to the treble pickup, so, like I said, I'm only going to give you my point of view from me playing in bands for 55 years and playing all kinds of music, blues, some jazz, some country, a lot of, hard rock, classic rock, pop rock, yacht rock, Steely Dan, on and on and on. Look online, check out maybe the Metallica or some of the, some of the other bands, Cinderella. There's a lot of them that I've really, that big hair bands that I didn't get into. I kind of, after Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Hendrix, whatever was, hard rock, to me, I kind of went into another vein of Steely Dan, moved me into really different type of hot guitarists that were more into jazz fusion. Getting into like Scott Henderson and Frank Gambale that played with Chick Corea. So I really kind of got more into maybe Pat Metheny. And I didn't stop playing classic rock, but I just felt like I wanted to advance to into that direction. Jeff Beck was doing things that were instrumental. He got away with, got out of playing classic rock. And that's where I went to. So I kind of like, I didn't even get into Van Halen because it was past when I was really learning. And to me, all the guitar gods that I wanted to emulate were, Hendrix and Beck and, whatever, Gary Moore and Roy Gallagher and, on and on and on from that era. And then I started getting more into the jazz fusion people. But yeah, power chords, the top strings, or what you could call the low strings, bottom strings, a lot of distortion. Drop D, you get some serious power sounds, and utilize your E, the E bar chord, and utilize the A bar chord going up the neck. And remember, so many times you don't need to play all 6 strings, and especially with power chords. If you want to, you can play, get all the notes ringing. But true power is more just your E, A, maybe the D string. So I hope that helped some of you, and I hope this was a good power chord lesson to get you going. And it's not that big a deal, It's just it's pretty simple actually, but it's just another tool for your toolbox. See you next time.